Ladies and gentlemen, there comes a moment in every person's life where you must decide, do I accept the limits placed on me by others, or do I choose to believe in something greater, something unseen, something within? You see, belief is not just a feeling. Belief is a force. It's the power that takes you from where you are to where you were destined to be. Belief is the foundation of all achievement. It is the invisible force that transforms ordinary individuals into world changers and impossible dreams into undeniable realities. Everything you have ever admired, inventions, movements, breakthroughs, was first born in the soil of someone's belief. Before the airplane ever lifted off the ground, two brothers with no formal engineering background believed that human flight was possible. They didn't wait for the world's approval. They didn't seek validation from experts. They simply believed. That belief drove them to try again and again, through failure after failure, until success took flight. Literally, this is the same principle that applies to your life. Every goal, every vision, every desire placed inside you is waiting for one thing: for you to believe it's possible. Your belief is the key that unlocks the door to your next level. You may think you're limited by your past, your education, your current resources, or even the people around you, but the truth is, those are not your real limits. Your real limitation is the level of belief you hold about yourself and your future. When you believe, your mind opens to new solutions. Your eyes begin to see opportunities where others see roadblocks. When you believe, your energy shifts. And suddenly you're not waiting on permission, you're taking action. Belief isn't about pretending things are easy. It's not blind hope. It's the quiet, unwavering decision to keep moving forward, even when there's no proof of progress. It's showing up day after day with the same conviction in your heart. This is possible. I was made for this. You don't need to have all the answers. You don't need a perfect plan. What you need is a heart that refuses to quit. You see, belief doesn't eliminate obstacles. It gives you the power to overcome them. Challenges will still come, doubts will still whisper, people may still criticize, but belief speaks louder. It drowns out the noise with clarity and courage. It's the inner voice that says, I know what I'm capable of, even if no one else sees it yet. Think about how many dreams have died because someone stopped believing. Think about how many talents have gone to waste because the person carrying them didn't trust their own potential. Don't let that be your story. Don't let fear, failure, or the opinions of others rob you of the life you were born to live. The moment you believe, truly believe, you activate a power far greater than your circumstance. You begin to align with purpose, and life responds in kind. Doors start to open. Ideas begin to flow. People show up to support you, not because they believed first, but because you did. There's something magnetic about belief. It draws the right people, the right opportunities, and the right momentum. But it has to start with you. No one can believe for you. No one can do the work of believing on your behalf. This is your responsibility. And the beautiful truth is, you already have everything you need. The belief you're looking for isn't outside of you, it's already within. You just have to uncover it, feed it, and protect it. That means guarding your thoughts. It means refusing to let doubt dominate your decisions. It means speaking life over your goals even when progress is slow. It means holding on to your vision when nothing around you supports it. Because belief is tested, and every time you choose it, you grow stronger. You become more resilient, more focused, more determined. And little by little, belief turns into action, and action turns into results. The dream you have is real. The future you imagine is possible, but it won't be handed to you. You must believe in it before anyone else can see it. You must carry it when it's heavy, nurture it when it's fragile, and fight for it when it's threatened. Every time you say yes to belief, you take one step closer to your destiny. And here's what's incredible: belief compounds. When you start with a little belief and act on it, you gain small victories. Those victories fuel your faith. That faith drives more action. That action builds momentum, and before you know it, the very thing you once hoped for becomes the life you are living. So today, make the decision to believe. Not halfway, not someday, right now. Choose to believe in your vision, your voice, your ability to rise. Choose to believe that you are not average, not forgotten, not stuck, but powerful, purposeful, and prepared. You are capable of more than you know. And if you hold on to belief long enough, you'll prove that everything is possible, not just for someone else, but for you. Because when you believe, impossible is just a word. When you believe, you don't just chase dreams, you catch them. When you believe, you don't wait for the world to change, you become the reason it does. Everything is possible when you believe. Your dreams are not random. They're revelations of your potential. Every thought that excites you, every idea that stirs your soul, every vision that refuses to leave your mind, those are not coincidences. They are divine hints. They are the whispers of purpose calling out to you, saying, this is what you were made for. Far too often we dismiss our dreams as unrealistic or too big. We think we're not qualified, not talented enough, not connected enough, not ready. But the truth is, if the dream was placed in your heart, it means you already have what it takes to begin. You may not have everything yet, not all the skills, not all the resources, but the seed of greatness has already been planted within you. And that seed is called potential. Potential is your unseen power. It's the reservoir of strength, creativity, and purpose inside of you that's waiting to be activated. And dreams are the map that point to it. You don't have dreams by accident. You were designed with intention, created with a purpose, and wired with the exact gifts needed to bring those dreams to life. When you ignore or downplay your dreams, you're not being humble. You're burying your purpose. You're not protecting yourself. You're limiting yourself. Because dreams are not silly or selfish. They are sacred. They are the clues to your calling. Think about this. A bird doesn't dream of flying. It was born to fly. A fish doesn't dream of swimming. It was made for water. So when you dream of building, creating, healing, leading, inspiring, that's not fantasy, that's function. That's who you were built to be. The world has conditioned many of us to play small, to settle for what's safe, to silence what makes us come alive. But the more you suppress your dreams, the more restless you feel. Because purpose doesn't go away, it just waits. It waits for you to believe again. It waits for you to stop making excuses and start saying yes. The most powerful people in the world aren't the ones who had it all figured out from the start. They're the ones who dared to trust the vision they had, even when it looked impossible. They didn't wait for proof before they moved. They didn't ask for permission to believe. They took that dream, held it close, and walked forward with faith. That's what belief does. It activates potential. You may not be able to see the full staircase, but when you take that first step, more will appear. Doors will open. Strength will rise. Clarity will come. You just have to trust what's been placed in your heart. So many people waste years trying to be like someone else, chasing goals that don't belong to them, fitting into molds that were never meant for them. But real fulfillment comes when you start chasing the dreams that are yours, the ones that wake you up in the middle of the night, the ones that scare you a little because they're so big, the ones that you keep trying to forget, but they keep coming back. Those are the ones that matter. Those are the ones that will unlock the best version of you. But here's the thing, your dreams will be tested. Life will throw distractions, disappointments, and delays your way. People may not understand you. Some may even laugh at you. But that doesn't mean your dream is invalid. It means it's valuable. It means you're on the right path. Every dreamer has faced resistance. Every visionary has walked through uncertainty. That's not a sign to quit. It's a sign to dig deeper. Because if you keep showing up, if you keep believing in the vision, even when it's blurry, you will get there. And along the way, you will grow. You will discover strengths you never knew you had. You will learn lessons that shape your character. You will meet people who are part of your purpose. You will become the kind of person who doesn't just dream big, but lives big. Because that's what belief does. It doesn't just change what you see, it changes who you become. When you believe in your dream, you rise to meet it. You develop the habits, the mindset, the courage necessary to carry it. It's not always going to be easy. There will be days when you question yourself, days when nothing seems to be working, days when you feel like giving up. But remember this, the dream that was placed inside you was placed there for a reason. And if you don't give up on it, it won't give up on you. The pain you face along the journey is temporary, but the purpose you fulfill will last forever. So stop second guessing what's in your heart. Stop talking yourself out of the life you were meant to live. That dream is not too big. You are not too late. You are not too broken. Everything you need to begin is already within you. And when you believe in the dream, you activate the potential. When you believe in the potential, you unleash the power. And when you unleash the power, nothing is impossible. Because your dreams aren't random. They're your reminder you were born for more. You don't need perfect conditions to start. Belief is enough. Waiting for everything to line up perfectly is one of the greatest lies we tell ourselves. We think we need more money, more time, more connections, more experience before we can begin. We wait for the right season, the right opportunity, the right support. But what we often fail to realize is that nothing changes until we do. Conditions don't make the dream possible. Your belief does. If you look closely, the people who accomplish great things are rarely the ones who had the most favorable circumstances. They are the ones who acted despite uncertainty, who moved even when the road was unclear, and who chose to believe that progress was possible even in imperfection. Belief is the spark that starts the fire. It's the invisible strength that carries you when you feel unprepared and unqualified. Perfect conditions are a myth. Life rarely gives you a neatly packaged beginning. There will always be a reason to hesitate. There will always be voices, external and internal, telling you to wait, to plan more, to prepare a little longer. But preparation without action becomes procrastination. Some people spend their whole lives getting ready and never launching. They let fear disguise itself as logic. They wait for permission. But belief doesn't wait. Belief acts. Belief says, even if I don't have it all figured out, I'll start anyway. Because belief doesn't guarantee you'll never stumble, but it guarantees that you'll keep going until you succeed. Look at every great movement, invention, or success story. and you'll find the same truth. It started in the midst of uncertainty. The most influential people didn't start when conditions were perfect. They started when they had just enough courage to take the first step. They started with doubt in their minds and belief in their hearts. They didn't know all the answers. They didn't know exactly how it would work, but they moved anyway. And because they moved, things began to shift. Momentum began to build. Resources started to show up. The right people came into their lives. Doors that were once closed began to open. Not because the world changed, but because their belief moved them into alignment with purpose. You may feel like you're not ready. You may be thinking you don't have enough education, money, support, or experience. But readiness is not a feeling, it's a decision. No one ever feels 100% ready to chase something big. Growth is uncomfortable. Stepping into your purpose requires risk. But risk becomes opportunity when it's fueled by belief. You have something inside you that the world needs. Something unique, something powerful. And it won't be revealed in a classroom or a conference. It will be revealed in the act of doing. Learning happens in motion. Confidence is built through experience. And courage is born when you choose to act in the face of fear. Belief is the bridge between where you are and where you want to go. You don't need everything today. You just need to believe that what you have is enough to begin. Maybe all you have is a dream and a willingness to try. That's enough. Maybe all you have is an idea and a little faith. That's enough. Don't underestimate small beginnings. Don't despise your current situation. Every great journey begins with one step. And that first step might be messy. It might be awkward. It might be clumsy. But it's real. It's progress. And it's better than waiting another year, another month, another day for everything to feel right. The truth is, life will never be perfect. You'll always be navigating some form of chaos, uncertainty, or transition. But belief gives you the power to walk through it with purpose. It gives you the strength to create order in the middle of confusion, to find clarity in the fog, to build while others are frozen. Belief doesn't need everything to be in place. It just needs you to be in motion. When you act from belief, you activate favor. You attract opportunities. You build momentum. The world responds to movement. The universe rewards boldness. But nothing happens until you decide that belief is enough. So whatever dream you're holding, whatever goal you've been delaying, let this be the moment you stop waiting for perfection. Let this be the moment you give yourself permission to begin. You don't need all the answers. You don't need approval. You don't need a guarantee. You just need to believe that you can figure it out as you go. You just need to trust that the version of you who starts today will evolve into the version of you. Don't let the illusion of lack keep you from stepping into abundance. Don't let the fear of imperfection rob you of purpose. Today is the day. Not because everything is perfect, but because belief makes it possible. Belief is not about never failing. It's about never quitting. Failure is not the opposite of success. It is a part of success. Every person who has achieved something meaningful in life has faced setbacks, rejection, and moments of deep doubt. But what separated them from those who gave up wasn't that they never failed. It was that they never allowed failure to define them. They understood that belief doesn't prevent you from falling. but it gives you the strength to get back up again and again. It fuels persistence, it fuels resilience. It teaches you that falling down is just a part of moving forward. You can stumble and still make it to your destination as long as you don't stop walking. Failure only becomes permanent when you quit. As long as you keep going, failure is just feedback. It's a lesson. It's a refinement process that strengthens your character, your skill, and your determination. Belief doesn't eliminate the possibility of mistakes, but it gives you the courage to keep trying even when the world says you should stop. There will be times when things don't work out the way you expected. There will be moments when you feel like all your effort is going unnoticed. There will be days when you question whether it's even worth it to keep pushing forward. But belief steps in during those moments and reminds you of why you started in the first place. When you believe in something deeply, your mindset changes. You stop seeing challenges as roadblocks and start viewing them as detours or lessons that are shaping you for the future. You start to realize that every time you push through difficulty, you become a little stronger, a little wiser, a little more equipped to handle what's coming next. You stop expecting the journey to be easy and instead you embrace the growth that comes through endurance. Belief says, I don't care how many times I fall, I will rise again. And that mindset is unstoppable. You don't need to be perfect to succeed. You don't need everything to go smoothly. What you need is the tenacity to keep showing up day after day, decision after decision. You have to keep believing in your dream even when the results don't show yet. That's the true test of belief. Not believing when things are easy, but believing when everything looks like it's falling apart. Anyone can be hopeful in the beginning, but the ones who win are the ones who keep that fire alive even in the darkest nights. That's when belief matters most. People will give up on you, circumstances will change, your plan might fall apart, but if you don't quit, if you refuse to surrender, you will grow into someone who can handle the weight of your vision. Quitting may seem easier in the moment, but it costs you your future. It robs you of the person you could have become. And most importantly, it robs the world of the impact you were meant to make. There's someone out there waiting for your gift. There's someone who needs your story, your voice, your courage. And they may never find what they need if you quit too soon. Your belief will be tested by time. It will be tested by silence. It will be tested by failure. But tests are not meant to destroy you, they're meant to reveal what's real. If your dream truly matters to you, if your belief is anchored in purpose, no setback will be strong enough to make you stop. You may pause, you may cry, you may feel tired, but you will not quit. Because something inside you knows that the pain of pushing forward is temporary, but the pain of quitting lasts a lifetime. So don't let failure lie to you. Don't let setbacks convince you that you're not good enough. You are learning, you are growing, you are becoming, and every time you choose to keep going, even when it's hard, even when it hurts, you are proving to yourself that you are stronger than your fear. You are more powerful than your past. You are more committed to your future than to your comfort. And that kind of belief moves mountains. You don't have to be fearless to succeed. You don't have to have everything figured out. You just need to decide that quitting is not an option. No matter how long it takes, no matter how hard it gets, you keep showing up, you keep believing, you keep rising, and if you do that, you will win. Not just because you're talented or lucky, but because you refused to give up when others did. That is the power of belief. Not that it prevents pain or failure, but that it gives you the strength to endure them. It reminds you that your dream is still worth fighting for, that you are still worthy of success, and that as long as you breathe, there is still hope, still time, still opportunity to rise again. So even if you failed before, even if you're failing now, don't quit. Don't let go, because belief is not about being perfect. It's about being unshakable. It's about standing up one more time, every time, no matter what. Your belief has power. It shapes your actions, decisions, and ultimately your destiny. The way you think about yourself, your potential, and your future determines how you show up in the world. When you believe in yourself, you carry yourself differently. You walk with purpose. You speak with conviction, and you dare to do things others wouldn't even attempt. Belief is not just a passive feeling. It's a force that drives everything you do. It determines how hard you'll work, how long you'll persist, and how boldly you'll dream. What you believe on the inside eventually shows up on the outside. If you believe you're not good enough, you'll unconsciously shrink yourself to fit that narrative. But if you believe that you were created for greatness, you'll rise to meet the challenge. You'll stretch, you'll evolve, you'll grow into the person who can handle what you're asking for. The mind is powerful. It can either be your greatest ally or your most dangerous enemy. And what determines the direction it goes is belief. People often look at successful individuals and focus on what they've achieved. But the real story lies in what they believed long before the results ever showed up. They believed in their value when no one else did. They believed in their idea when others laughed. They believed in their worth even after they were rejected. That belief didn't make the road easy, but it gave them the strength to stay on the road. Because when you truly believe in your value, you stop begging for validation. You stop waiting for someone else to give you permission to pursue your purpose. You start acting like your life has meaning, because it does. When you walk in belief, you stop living small. You stop settling. You start choosing environments, relationships, and goals that align with the future you envision. You stop participating in conversations that contradict your calling. You no longer entertain thoughts of limitation because you know who you are becoming. Belief forces you to level up. It holds you accountable to your potential. It challenges you to think differently, to act boldly, and to move with intent. Because if you believe you are meant for more, you cannot keep living like you are less. That shift is where transformation begins, not from the outside in, but from the inside out. Sometimes people think belief is only for the big moments, the breakthroughs, the grand achievements. But belief is also for the everyday decisions. It shows up when you choose discipline over distraction. It shows up when you decide to try again after failing. It shows up when you keep speaking life over yourself, even when your circumstances don't agree. Every time you choose to act in alignment with belief, you reinforce that identity. Every time you take one more step forward, even when it's hard, you're training yourself to become the kind of person who doesn't back down. Over time, those small acts of belief compound. They build momentum. They create habits. They shape your character. And eventually they create results. Belief is the foundation for growth. Without it, you won't even try. You'll talk yourself out of opportunities. You'll disqualify yourself before the race begins. You'll stay stuck in cycles of fear and hesitation. But when belief takes root in your heart, it breaks the chains of self-doubt. It silences the inner critic. It disrupts every narrative that says you're not enough. Because belief reminds you that you were never meant to live confined by your past or limited by your present. You were made to move forward. You were made to rise. You were made to take territory, Not just physically, but mentally, emotionally, spiritually. When you shift your belief, you shift your life. You begin to see doors where you once saw walls. You begin to find strength where you once saw weakness. You begin to speak differently, think differently, live differently. People may not always understand it. They may question your boldness, your optimism, your relentless pursuit of something more. But that's okay. Your belief is not dependent on their understanding. You're not waiting for the world to approve what God already placed in you. Your job is to believe enough to begin, to keep going, to trust that the vision in your heart is there for a reason. The path may be hard, the process may be long, but belief will keep you grounded, it will keep you focused, it will give you the endurance to keep pushing through every obstacle, every delay, every setback. Because when you believe in where you're going, you don't let where you are stop you. You understand that today's challenge is tomorrow's strength. That every difficulty is developing something in you that ease never could. And through it all, belief becomes your fuel. Not hype, not noise, not applause, but a quiet, unshakable conviction that says, I was made for this. I can do this. I will not stop. So if you want to change your life, don't start with your circumstances. Start with your belief. Change what you say to yourself. Change what you expect from yourself. Change what you allow into your mind. Because when you change your belief, your world begins to shift. Not by magic, but by movement, by courage, by action. And every step you take in belief brings you closer to the life you were always meant to live. Belief has the power to turn dreams into reality. What starts as a thought, a vision, an idea in your heart can become something tangible when it is backed by belief. Every invention, every breakthrough, every masterpiece that changed the world began as something invisible, an unseen hope inside someone who dared to trust it enough to act. It wasn't real yet to others. It wasn't proven. But to the one who believed, it was already alive. That is the power of belief. It allows you to walk by vision, not by sight. It gives you the strength to move before anyone else sees the value. It empowers you to invest, commit, build, and push when all you have is a blueprint in your mind and fire in your soul. The world doesn't reward just the dreamers. It rewards those who act on their dreams with unshakable belief. And belief is what makes the invisible visible. It turns someday into today. It takes ideas off the shelf and brings them into the light. It fuels late nights and early mornings. It carries you when motivation fades. Belief gives weight to the work you're doing, even when it hasn't produced results yet. Because belief doesn't need external evidence. It creates the evidence through persistence. It doesn't wait for guarantees. It becomes the guarantee that something meaningful is being born through your efforts. When you truly believe in your vision, you begin to live differently. You talk with clarity. You walk with purpose. You make decisions that align with where you're going, not just where you are. You're not waiting for perfect circumstances to give you permission to start. You're already building. You're already preparing. Because belief doesn't wait for the crowd to agree. It doesn't rely on applause. It stands strong even in silence. It moves forward even when progress is slow. You might not see the harvest yet, but belief knows the seed has been planted, and belief is willing to water that seed day after day, trusting that something powerful is growing beneath the surface. There will be moments when no one understands your vision. They'll question your choices, your timing, your sanity. But that's okay. They weren't given the vision, you were. It's not their job to understand it. It's your job to believe in it enough to protect it, nurture it, and pursue it relentlessly. Don't expect everyone to see it until you've built it. You don't need their confirmation. You need your own conviction. Because the truth is, people often don't believe something is possible until someone else makes it real. Let that someone be you. Belief is what separates the dreamers from the doers. It's the line between hoping and becoming. You can spend your life wishing, waiting, wanting, or you can decide that today is the day you shift from imagination to implementation. That you stop waiting for a miracle and realize you are the miracle. That your hands, your mind, your voice, your actions, when backed by belief, have the power to change the world around you. It doesn't matter where you started. It doesn't matter what you've lost. It doesn't matter how far behind you feel. What matters is what you're willing to believe is still possible for your life. Some of the most powerful success stories came from people who were counted out, overlooked, doubted, even laughed at, but they believed anyway. They believed in their gift. They believed in their calling. They believed in the possibility of something more. And because of that belief, they kept showing up. They kept working in the dark. They kept preparing when no one was watching. They kept practicing, writing, creating, learning, and eventually belief brought them into the light. Because what you consistently believe, you eventually become, and what you become will shape what you experience. That's why belief is not optional. It's essential. You can have talent, but without belief, it will stay dormant. You can have opportunity, but without belief, you'll hesitate and miss it. You can have potential, but without belief, you'll talk yourself out of even trying. Belief is the key that unlocks all of it. It awakens the giant within. It silences the doubt. It ignites the courage to do what you've never done before. And once you've tasted the power of belief, you won't want to live without it. Every great thing that exists started with someone who chose to believe. Not someone who had all the answers, not someone who was fearless, not someone who never failed, but someone who simply refused to give up on the unseen. That can be you. Today, you can choose to believe in your dream again. You can decide to act like it's possible. You can carry yourself like the person who already achieved it. Because when you believe, the universe responds. Opportunities come into alignment. Resources appear. People are drawn to your energy. Things begin to move because you moved first. So don't just wish, believe. Don't just dream, decide. Don't just wait, act. The bridge between where you are and where you want to be is belief. And the moment you choose to walk that bridge, everything starts to change, not instantly, but inevitably. Because belief makes the impossible possible. Belief takes what you see in your heart and brings it into your hands. And all of it begins when you decide, once and for all, that what's inside you is greater than anything that could come against you. That your vision matters. That your voice matters. That your purpose matters. And most importantly, that you are capable of making it all real because you believe. The people who change the world are not always the most talented, the most educated, or the most connected. They are the ones who believed in their vision so deeply that they refused to let go. Belief creates a level of confidence that doesn't come from your resume, your background, or your resources. It comes from within. It's the unshakable conviction that what you carry inside you matters and that it deserves to be pursued with everything you've got. When you believe in yourself, you stop needing external validation to move forward. You stop waiting for approval from others before taking action. You don't need everyone to understand you. You just need to understand your own purpose. You don't need a cheerleader when you are already your own source of encouragement. You become the voice that reminds you to keep going even when everything around you says to quit. Confidence is not arrogance. It is rooted in belief. It is the understanding that you may not have all the answers, but you have the willingness to figure things out. You may not know every step of the journey, but you trust yourself to keep moving. You may not feel ready, but you know that readiness comes through action. When belief fuels your confidence, you stop shrinking to fit into boxes created by other people's expectations. You stop apologizing for your ambition. You stop hiding your brilliance just to make others comfortable. You begin to own your space, speak your truth, and pursue your purpose boldly. You stop settling for less than you deserve because you know your value is not up for negotiation. Belief gives you permission to take risks, to try new things, to walk into unfamiliar territory with courage, even if fear tags along. The people who live fully are not those who avoid fear. They are the ones who do it afraid. They understand that confidence is not the absence of fear, but the decision to move forward anyway. That kind of confidence doesn't come from success, it creates success. When you believe in yourself, you take steps that others won't take. You apply for the job, you start the business, you launch the idea, you speak up, you raise your hand, you show up fully because you know that your presence matters. Even when your voice shakes, even when your hands tremble, you still show up. Every time you choose belief over doubt, confidence over fear, courage over comfort, you grow. You build resilience. You train yourself to push past limitations. You expand your capacity to handle more. And the more you trust yourself, the more powerful you become. Not because you're perfect, but because you're committed. You're not waiting until the conditions are ideal. You're creating momentum with what you have right now. That's what belief does. It doesn't wait, it acts. It doesn't hesitate, it leads. And that kind of leadership starts with how you lead yourself. It starts with how you talk to yourself, how you treat yourself, how you show up when no one's watching. Belief teaches you to advocate for your own future, to stop downplaying your vision because others can't see it, to stop shrinking your dreams just to keep people comfortable. Your belief should make you uncomfortable at times. It should stretch you. It should challenge you to rise above excuses. It should provoke you to take responsibility for your life. Confidence says, even if I don't know how yet, I'll figure it out. It says, even if I'm the first to do this, I'll still go. It says, even if I've failed before, I'm not finished. That's the kind of inner strength that turns ordinary people into extraordinary leaders, creators, visionaries, and change makers. The truth is, the world doesn't give you permission to be confident. You have to claim it, you have to build it, you have to protect it. There will be moments when others doubt you, when things don't go your way, when setbacks make you question your ability, but belief reminds you that your worth was never tied to a result. It was always there. You don't need success to prove that you matter. You matter because you exist. And when you know that, you stop tying your confidence to outcomes and start anchoring it in your identity. You were not made to blend in. You were made to stand out. You were made to lead, to shine, to impact others with your presence and your purpose. And that begins with belief. If you don't believe in yourself, how can you expect anyone else to? Your confidence is contagious. It gives others permission to believe in themselves too. It inspires, it uplifts, it multiplies. But it starts with you. You have to decide that you're worth betting on, that your vision is worth chasing, that your purpose is worth living for, no matter what it costs. And when you do, you'll walk into rooms differently. You'll approach challenges differently. You'll carry yourself with the kind of quiet confidence that doesn't need to shout because it's rooted in truth. So hold your head high, speak with power, move with intention, and above all, keep believing. Because belief is not just a feeling, it's a choice. A decision to show up as the person you were created to be, boldly and unapologetically. And when you do, there's nothing you can't become. Every great accomplishment in history began with a single thought, a belief that something better was possible. It started with someone daring to imagine a future beyond their current reality. That is the power of belief. It plants a seed of possibility that, when nurtured, grows into something extraordinary. Belief is the foundation upon which all success is built. Without it, the path forward remains invisible, the obstacles seem insurmountable, and the dream fades into a distant fantasy. But when belief takes root, it changes everything. It opens your eyes to opportunities you never noticed before. It sharpens your focus. It gives you the courage to take the first step, and then the next, and the next. Even when the way is unclear, belief allows you to see beyond your circumstances. It gives you the strength to rise above fear, doubt, and uncertainty. Life will always throw challenges your way, unexpected setbacks, criticism, failures. But belief creates a shield against the negativity that threatens to pull you down. It reminds you that your current situation is not your final destination. It helps you hold on to hope when everything around you seems to say, give up. When you believe in your vision and your ability to achieve it, you develop resilience. You learn to treat obstacles not as barriers, but as lessons, as stepping stones toward growth. Every setback becomes an opportunity to refine your strategy, to build your strength, and to deepen your commitment. The journey of belief is not a straight line. It's filled with ups and downs, moments of doubt and moments of clarity. But belief is what keeps you moving forward through the uncertainty. It's what turns hesitation into action. The difference between those who achieve their dreams and those who don't often comes down to one thing: perseverance fueled by belief. When you believe that what you want is possible, you keep showing up, you keep working, you keep learning, you keep adjusting your course without losing sight of your goal. Even when progress feels slow, you trust that your efforts are building something meaningful. Belief also has the power to transform how you see yourself. It shapes your identity and your self-worth. When you truly believe in your potential, you stop living beneath your capabilities. You stop settling for less than you deserve. You start making choices that align with the future you want to create. You begin to speak kindly to yourself, replacing doubt and criticism with encouragement and confidence. This shift is powerful because it rewires your mind to expect success, not failure. It helps you approach challenges with a growth mindset, seeing them as opportunities to improve rather than signs of defeat. One of the most important truths about belief is that it is a practice, not just a feeling. It's something you choose to cultivate every day. Some days you will feel confident and hopeful, and other days you will struggle with doubt and fear. That's normal. The key is to keep coming back to your belief, to reinforce it through your actions. When you act as if your belief is true, by setting goals, taking risks, learning new skills, you create evidence that strengthens your faith in yourself. Over time, this cycle builds momentum. Your belief grows stronger, Your confidence deepens and your results start to show. Belief is also contagious. When you carry yourself with belief, you inspire others to believe in themselves too. Your energy and conviction can lift people around you. You become a source of hope and encouragement in a world that often feels full of doubt and negativity. People want to be around those who believe in themselves and in the possibility of better things. Your belief doesn't just change your life. It creates a ripple effect that can impact families, communities, and even generations. It's important to remember that belief doesn't guarantee an easy path. It doesn't mean you won't face rejection, failure, or criticism. What it means is that you have something inside you stronger than those challenges, a fire that won't be extinguished. You have a reason to keep going when others quit. You have a vision that pulls you forward even when the road is rough. And that is what makes all the difference. If you find yourself doubting your ability or your worth, pause and remind yourself why you started. Think about the dreams that first sparked your passion. Remember that those dreams were given to you for a reason. You have a unique purpose and a unique contribution that only you can make. Believe that the challenges you face are part of the process designed to prepare you for something greater. Know that every step forward, no matter how small, is progress. Belief turns ordinary people into extraordinary achievers. It transforms potential into reality. It changes impossible into inevitable. When you hold fast to your belief, you align yourself with a force greater than fear, greater than doubt, and greater than circumstance. You become unstoppable. You become a beacon of possibility, proving that with belief, everything truly is possible. So keep believing, keep pushing, keep dreaming, and watch how your life begins to change in ways you never imagined. When you embrace the idea that everything is possible, when you believe, you begin to understand that your thoughts and mindset are the true architects of your reality. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that circumstances, luck, or outside forces determine what you can or cannot achieve. But the truth is, the foundation of every great achievement is belief. Belief is the invisible thread that connects your dreams to your reality. It's the inner voice that whispers, "I can," when the world shouts, "You can't." It's what moves you forward when doubt tries to hold you back. When you truly believe in the possibility of success, your mind starts to align with that truth, and your actions follow suit. Belief is not just blind optimism, it's a deep, grounded trust in your own potential and the process. It requires a commitment to yourself and your vision, even when things don't seem to be going your way. It means waking up each day with a sense of purpose and a refusal to accept defeat. When you believe, you develop a resilience that pushes you through challenges, failures, and setbacks. Instead of seeing obstacles as roadblocks, you begin to see them as opportunities to learn, to grow, and to strengthen your resolve. This shift in perspective is powerful because it keeps you moving forward when others might give up. One of the most important aspects of belief is how it changes your relationship with fear. Fear is a natural response to the unknown, but it doesn't have to control your decisions. When belief is strong, it acts like a shield against fear's paralyzing effects. You begin to understand that fear is simply a feeling, not a fact. It's something you can acknowledge without letting it dictate your action. Belief gives you the courage to take risks, to step outside your comfort zone, and to pursue your goals with confidence. It teaches you that growth happens on the other side of fear, and that every time you face fear head on, you weaken its power over you. Belief also shapes the way you speak to yourself. The stories you tell yourself about who you are and what you're capable of have a profound impact on your actions and your results. If your internal dialogue is filled with doubt, criticism, or negativity, it creates a barrier to success. But when you replace those limiting thoughts with affirmations of belief, you rewire your brain to expect positive outcomes. You begin to see yourself as capable, deserving, and strong. This self-consciousness becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. The more you believe, the more you act in ways that reinforce that belief. You start setting higher goals, taking bigger steps, and refusing to settle for mediocrity. The power of belief extends beyond just personal achievement. It also influences how you interact with others and the world around you. When you believe in your worth and your vision, you naturally attract people who support and uplift you. Your energy becomes magnetic because confidence and conviction are contagious. People are drawn to those who believe in themselves because it inspires them to believe in themselves too. This creates a positive cycle of encouragement and motivation, helping not only you, but also those around you to reach higher and dream bigger. Belief doesn't mean you will never experience failure or disappointment. In fact, setbacks are often part of the journey toward success. But belief changes how you respond to those setbacks. Instead of seeing failure as a permanent defeat, you begin to view it as feedback, a necessary step in refining your approach and growing stronger. You learn to pick yourself up, adjust your strategy, and keep moving forward with renewed determination. This persistence is what separates those who eventually succeed from those who give up too soon. Another crucial element of belief is patience. When you believe in the possibility of your dreams, you also develop the patience to wait for the right timing and the right circumstances. You understand that meaningful success rarely happens overnight. It requires consistent effort, dedication, and time. Belief helps you stay committed to the long haul, keeping your eyes on the bigger picture, even when immediate results are not visible. It fuels your perseverance and helps you maintain a positive mindset throughout the process. Belief also empowers you to take ownership of your life and your choices. When you believe that everything is possible, you stop blaming external factors for your circumstances. You take responsibility for your actions and your mindset. You understand that your future is largely shaped by what you choose to believe and how you choose to act on those beliefs. This sense of ownership gives you control and freedom. It turns you from a passive observer of your life into an active creator of your destiny. Ultimately, believing that everything is possible transforms your life because it changes your entire approach to challenges and opportunities. It opens doors that you might not have even noticed before. It helps you see solutions instead of problems, possibilities instead of limitations. It pushes you to dream bigger and to pursue those dreams with unwavering faith. When belief is at the core of your mindset, you you develop the power to turn obstacles into stepping stones and doubts into fuel for your determination. So if you want to achieve greatness, start with belief. Cultivate it daily through positive self-talk, perseverance, courage, and patience. Surround yourself with people who encourage your vision and challenge your limits. Remember that your belief is your superpower. It shapes your reality more than any external circumstance ever could. When you truly believe that everything is possible, you unlock your potential and step into the life you were always meant to live. Sometimes life pushes you to your limits. It throws challenges, setbacks, and obstacles that seem impossible to overcome. You might feel overwhelmed, exhausted, or even tempted to give up. But it is in those moments when everything inside you says, "I can't anymore," that you must remember the incredible power of belief. Belief is what keeps you going when your spirit runs low. It is the invisible fuel that reignites your spirit, reminding you that you are capable of more than you realize. Belief doesn't mean that the road will be easy. It means that you trust yourself enough to keep moving forward despite the difficulty. Understanding your limits is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of wisdom and self-awareness. Everyone has boundaries, and recognizing them allows you to take care of yourself so that you don't burn out. But knowing your limits doesn't mean settling or shrinking your dreams. It means pacing yourself, setting healthy boundaries, and asking for help when you need it. It means being honest with yourself about what you can handle in the moment while holding on to the bigger vision for your life. When you accept your limits, you create space for growth. You don't try to do everything at once. You focus your energy where it matters most and build momentum over time. Belief is the bridge between your limits and your potential. It doesn't erase the reality of difficulty, but it changes how you respond to it. When you believe, you see limits not as permanent walls, but as temporary challenges to navigate. You understand that limits can be stretched, redefined, or overcome with effort and persistence. Belief fuels the mindset that I haven't arrived yet, but I'm getting closer every day. It gives you permission to rest when needed without losing sight of the progress you're making. It helps you bounce back from setbacks because you know they are part of the journey, not the end of it. At times, your biggest enemy will be the story you tell yourself about your limits. Doubt and fear whisper lies like, "You're not strong enough, you'll never make it," or "This is too hard for you." These lies can keep you stuck, paralyzed by the idea that your limits define you. But belief breaks through those lies. It tells you the truth. You are capable. You are growing. You are more resilient than you think. When you choose to believe in yourself, you silence the negative voice and replace it with one that encourages and empowers you. You begin to see your challenges as opportunities to learn rather than reasons to quit. The journey to overcoming limits is rarely a solo one. Belief also means reaching out for support when you need it. It's about building a community of people who believe in you and your vision, who can lift you up when your own strength falters. It takes courage to ask for help, but it's one of the most powerful ways to expand beyond your limits. Remember, even the strongest people lean on others sometimes. Belief includes trusting that you don't have to carry everything alone and that growth often happens in collaboration. Self-care is a crucial part of respecting your limits while pursuing your goals. When you believe in yourself, you also believe that taking care of your mental, emotional, and physical health is not optional, it's essential. Pushing yourself beyond your limits without rest leads to burnout, which only slows progress. Belief teaches you to listen to your body and mind, to honor your need for breaks, and to recharge so that you can continue the journey with renewed energy and focus. It's not about pushing harder blindly. It's about pushing smarter with awareness and balance. Another important aspect of belief in the face of limits is patience. Growth and progress rarely happen overnight. When you're trying to stretch beyond what you think is possible, you must give yourself grace to move at your own pace. Belief helps you stay committed over the long haul, even when immediate results are not visible. It encourages you to celebrate small victories along the way and to trust that consistent effort compounds into meaningful change. Patience doesn't mean passivity. It means persistent, focused action combined with understanding that progress takes time. Belief also shifts your focus from what you can't do to what you can do. Instead of being overwhelmed by the size of your dreams or the obstacles ahead, you learn to take one step at a time. You focus on what's within your control and build from there. This mindset creates momentum. Every small win builds confidence, which in turn strengthens your belief. Over time, what once felt impossible starts to feel achievable. Your limits become less daunting because you've proven to yourself that you can overcome them bit by bit. When you fully embrace belief, you transform your limits into launching pads. You stop seeing them as barriers and start seeing them as challenges that sharpen your skills and deepen your character. You recognize that growth happens most when you're stretched just beyond what feels comfortable. Your belief becomes a source of motivation that pushes you to explore new possibilities, develop new strengths, and break free from old patterns. This process is not easy, but it is worth it because it leads you to a life that reflects your true potential. In the end, believing in yourself despite your limits is one of the most courageous things you can do. It requires vulnerability, honesty, and persistence. It means trusting that you are enough even when you don't feel like it. It means knowing that your worth is not tied to perfection or achievement, but to your willingness to keep going. When you embrace your limits and fuel your journey with belief, you create a powerful combination that can overcome any obstacle and unlock possibilities you never thought possible. This is the essence of true strength. The ability to rise, to grow, and to keep moving forward no matter